Hi everyone! This is going to be a fun day today. I'm going to do a Halloween wreath. So I'm just making sure that I'm live, and so far so good. Okay. My name is Whitney Lucas. I'm with Crafty Thoughts and Whatnots, and today I'm going to walk you guys through Halloween wreath. I don't really have step-by-step. I'm just taking a couple different techniques I've seen around and that I've done before, and I'm going to kind of mix them together. I'm going to mix them as far as I'm going to use a little bit of mesh. I have a tinsel wreath and some ribbon and a sign and some goodies that are, we'll see what happens at the end. Some of the stuff I'm reusing from the previous year. Some of this stuff is brand new, but let's just see how well it goes, and we will make it together, find out what happens at the end. Sometimes that's the best policy, is just see what you have, throw it together, and then you'll end up loving it. So today, I'm just going to make sure I get my tablet up here so when you guys start coming in, I will put my volume down. I'll be able to see your comments. I'm having some internet issues, I think. Okay, so I'm just going to get started. So for now, I'll set this guy up right here. Okay, so for now I'll take comments to see. There we go. Having a little bit of issue with this guy right here. I think my tablet's almost dead, so I don't know how long this is going to last anyways, but I'll peek it here and there back periodically to see if there's any comments. If you're watching this on the playback, I appreciate it. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, I appreciate that as well. Give me a like and a subscribe if you can. If you're watching the playback on Facebook, then please give me a share. Every little bit helps. And then, of course, if you guys have any comments or questions or tips, feel free to leave those in the comments below, or message me on my Facebook page. However you guys think is easiest, or whichever is best for you guys. So I've got this guy live now, and I'm just going to set that up right here like that so I can keep taking a peek at it. So what I have here is, this is a small little black tinsel wreath. I got these at Michael's last year when they were clearancing out all of their Halloween. This is basically the same premise as an evergreen or a pine wreath for Christmas, but it's black and it's really shiny, as you can see here in the light. It's a really shiny tinsel wreath. So it's only, the base of it is just one wire all the way around. Some of them now are coming with 2 wires, or they're 2 tiered, but this is a very small wreath, and I've already fluffed it. When I purchased this thing, it was really compact and it was much smaller. It was actually true to this. And when I measured this wire on the back, from wire to wire, this is about an 11-inch wreath. Once you fluff it out and you pull all of these little guys left, right, up, down, and you get used to a little thing, and you just go through it and you start moving all these around, you can change that circumference from 11. It ends up being almost 16 inches across. So this is a very decent size wreath. It is still on the small side, but it's a good size after you get everything fluffed out. So what I'm going to do is, I have taken this apart from a wreath I'd already made I made this last year. So I have more of these. I bought almost all of them that were there because they were clearanced out for an insanely great price. But this guy I had made, and I wasn't getting too much of a warm response on it because I had a snake in it. And it's this little guy right here, if you guys can see him. I think he's a little misunderstood, but I got him at one of our local stores here. I put this around his neck. He didn't have this on his neck. Piece fell off the wreath, so I reuse everything. I don't throw anything away, and I find something to use it. So a lot of people had mentioned that they liked the wreath, they liked the ribbon I had used and the mesh I'd used, but a lot of people didn't like the snake in it. So this little guy is going to go to work with me, and I'm just going to keep him for me. And It's understand. What's for one person is not for others. So I didn't glue anything into this wreath. When you use these tinsel wreaths, you can actually use the tinsel itself like you would a pipe cleaner, or when you buy a work wreath online or in the stores, they already have the tinsel pieces connected to them. Usually it's only about 16 or 18 of them, not an entire wreath full of them. But I use this wreath itself as its tie-ins. So I had actually used the wreath to hold him in a really kind of a serpentine way, and I had some other things on here. So I just took them apart, and we're going to repurpose this, because that's the best part. If you're not putting any glue in it, and you decide to change your decor, you change your style, you want to go from bright, flashy colors down to maybe more primitive Halloween, that would never be a problem. But this guy wasn't getting a warm response, so he'll just come with work. I'll take him to my work and put him on my desk. He'll be my little Halloween decoration. So no harm, no foul there. He'll just watch me over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to instead start over with a different mesh design. I'm going to actually do what's called a Ruffle Technique. It's really, really quick and easy. You're just going to be cutting strips of mesh, and then you pinch them up, creates a ruffle design. I'll show you that. I'm going to place that around the wreath. I have ribbons I'm going to place in there, some Deco tubing I might use. This is still looking cute. And then I got this sign here I'm going to put in the wreath from Hobby Lobby. And then because I got my phone facing forward for this Facebook Live, I know that's backwards. Obviously, you guys could probably still read it. It says Happy Halloween. This was on sale. No, actually it wasn't. Oh, wait, no. Yes, this was. Sorry. Scratch that again. Halloween was not on sale when I was at Hobby Lobby, but I used my 40% off coupon on my phone app, and I got this for 40% off. So it was originally $7.99. I got it for like $4 and some change. So this little sign here is very cute. It's going to look perfect. It's actually a really great size for this particular wreath here. We're going to attach that with some pipe cleaner. And then I had some spare pieces of ribbon that I had used from another project, and I thought these colors looked really good, so I have my 50-yard spools here. We'll cut some more of that. And I also thought this cute little whimsy skulls with their different colored eyes, little glitter eyes, I thought that would be cute in here too. And because this is mainly turning into black, green, and purple, and black, green, and orange, I've got purple tubing that I have a little left over from. We're gonna do. Oh, and these guys here, I got this at Hobby Lobby too. It's a little primitive ghost. This guy I couldn't pass up since Halloween wasn't on sale. I just bought him. I couldn't help it. He's just extremely cute. So I'm gonna make a more primitive Halloween wreath next, and then you guys will see that up on the Facebook page. Unless you want to see a live for it, just let me know. But because this will be a smaller wreath, and it's not going to be on a tinsel wreath. This one will either be on this is going to be a grapevine. So little primitive guys, very cute, made out of burlap. I couldn't help it. And I also got this too. This one wasn't a crazy price. This was only $2.99. And again, their Halloween wasn't on sale, but you can get this. I'm going to cut this off the back here, and then that'll go in a little wreath also. Could do a lot of oranges on this one. And I thought this would make a really cute little sign in a tiny wreath or in a smaller wreath. And when I mean tiny, I'm saying anything like 12 inches. There's some grapevine wreaths that are really small. And these see, who's that? Oh, it's Bashir. Hi, Bashir. Thanks for joining me. I have my first comment. So this guy here would end up on a small wreath too at some point. Maybe if you guys want to see that, just comment or let me know. And I'll make sure that happens eventually. So starting on this wreath here, I'm going to put the sign in it first because we're going to put the mesh, which I'm going to cut next. We're going to put the mesh all around the sign. So basically, since this wreath doesn't have anything in it right now, put the sign in it first. So I'm just going to try to nestle this in here and then find out where exactly I'm going to need to staple my pipe cleaners to. So I'm going to use 3 pipe cleaners. They're just your average, some people call them chenille stems. Basically, I call them pipe cleaners. So I have 3 of them here. And then you're also going to need a staple gun. So I'm looking at basically these 3 corners. So what we're going to do is turn it over, make sure you've got the 3 corners you need, not the opposite. So I'm doing this one, and this one. all I'm doing is I'm going to fold these in half. Make sure you guys can see me. I'm going to fold these in half here, and then I'm just going to staple into the sign. I'm putting 3 staples on there. I want it to be pretty secure. I'm then also going to hot glue it as well, just because you never know, you know, if this item ends up being shipped somewhere, or if you end up storing it somewhere, it gets bumped around a little bit. I don't want the sign falling off. Since this is just a 1-wired frame on this, it only has the 1 wire to support it, so I put 3 staples on each one. You guys can see that there's 3 staples on each one, which will then go into the wreath this way. So what I'm going to do next, and that's just your average staple gun that you can get anywhere at any hardware store. It's, if anyone, it's a Craftsman. This is extremely old. I've had this guy forever, and I used 5/16 staples. If anybody has any of those questions, some people want to duplicate things down to the wire, no problem. So now we're going to glue all the staples that we just did. So I'm just going to put a really nice amount of glue on each set and let that dry face down. I got my glue gun up on high, so I'm looking at all that steam coming off. So this isn't going to go anywhere. So I'll show you, if you guys can see, sort of. I don't want to tip it too much. Each spot has its own little puddle of glue on it. So I'm setting this to the side over here. I'm going to let that dry. And while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to start cutting my mesh. So we're going to set this to the side. And there's a couple pieces I'd already cut before. I want to try to alternate these mesh pieces between this black and orange and this bright lime green one. So this is a roll that I've had previously. I've already used for a different project. I made a bow out of this, so I didn't use very much. Let's see. Oh, hi, Stacy. Careful with the glue gun, yes. Today, I will definitely be careful with the glue gun, but that's no guarantee that I won't horribly burn myself. So thank you for the concern. So this guy here I've used for a previous project, and I have a lot left. So this project will not use all of this either. I'm going to cut these in 12-inch strips. This is 10-inch wide Deco mesh. And this one, this I got at Paper Mart. I ordered this online. Now this is 12-inch mesh, and I think well, no, I didn't think. I got this at Michael's. This was a local purchase. And I have probably 5 or 6, if you guys can kind of see off to the side over here, there's a large display with a lot of mesh on it. And I have a good amount of solid colors. I have, I think, 3 or 4 more of these. When they go on sale, it's really good to grab them. And these are ones that I've opened and I have not used. So I'm going to just use my remnants and, you know, see how much we get. I know for sure I'm not going to use all this. I might use all this one, but I still don't think I will. I'm only going to cut probably about maybe 15 to 18 pieces of each one, because I still want some of the black tinsel on that frame to show through. So for now, I'm just going to start cutting the circles, and then hopefully I can set them off to the side so they won't be crazy in the way. But let's just get started on that. So what I'll do here is on my work map, I'm not sure if you guys can see down here. I've got here, I'm going to use these squares here in the middle, and basically that is exactly 1 foot. So I'm going to cut 1 foot on each of these, and I have a rotary cutter here that makes it a lot easier to cut mesh, and it's just that simple. This guy I got at Walmart, or I got at Michael's, but you can buy them at Walmart fairly inexpensive. The blades, no matter where you buy them, are not exactly inexpensive. So try to use a self-healing mat, I guess, if that's important to you. Otherwise, you'll find yourself buying a lot of blades. I've only purchased maybe a few blades. I haven't really. Nothing's been as far as crazy expensive for me to try to get those. So you can see this mesh curls on its own. So I just usually only use this to cut mesh. I don't really use it for fabric. I have other projects, like with my fabric pumpkins, if you guys can see, you can check that out on my YouTube channel or my Facebook page. The fabric pumpkins, when I cut fabric, I don't use the rotary cutter. I use pinking shears, and that's a sewing thing. That's just so the fabric doesn't fray. With mesh, you're going to get some fray no matter what. But what we're doing is when we create the ruffle, we're not going to use this edge here. This is a finished edge on the outside. So the edge that we're cutting may still fray just a little bit, but it's not going to be extremely, you know, bothersome, only because it's a lot less of an amount of fray that's going to happen, and because of the way we're going to pinch it and ruffle it, it shouldn't really have that much of a fray problem. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm just going to keep cutting my mesh strips here. Sorry, yep, one fell on the floor. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. I think I'm going to stop at 15. 13. And you can see that it has its own little curl to it. So if you were doing the Curlicue method, which is another mesh style that a lot of you may be familiar with, it's really good to use its own curl as soon as it rolls back up. We're actually going to be unrolling it and using a ruffle, which is a bunch of pinching the mesh with your fingers. So this part is, it's not, I wouldn't say it's annoying or anything. It's just a small little extra step. Okay, there's 15. If I need to cut more, I definitely will. See, that's how much I have left after I cut 15 pieces at 12 inches each. If you were doing a bigger wreath, bigger frame, this, other than an 11-inch frame, there's 14, 16, 18. There's also work wreath forms that you can get even at Dollar Tree or Walmart that are just blank wire forms, and then you can use pipe cleaners to put them on with instead of the wreath that we're using. Those I would probably cut maybe 12 or 13 inches, maybe up to 15 or 16 inch long, just because it'll be a bigger frame. We're using a smaller frame, and I still want the tinsel to show through once we're finished. So this is a different size mesh. The other one was 10 inch, and then this one's 12 inches. So this one's a longer mesh, but I already tested a piece earlier, and they look fine together. It's just I wanted to add an extra bright pop of color, and I had a lot of this lime green laying around, especially with all the extra remnants here and there. So I grabbed this guy out, and I just wanted to get him a new home. So we're gonna cut him into pieces and put him in this wreath, and we'll see. I mean, hopefully it'll look good. I don't know. This is all hit and miss. I haven't made one yet. I only tested a few pieces of mesh in the wreath first, just to make sure that the 12-inch width looked right when we did the ruffle technique and placed it in the wreath. But I have no clue what it's going to look like when we're finished. So I'm just going to keep cutting these mesh pieces. Yeah, sometimes this prep work is a little, but I mean, it goes fast. It could be a little cumbersome, but it goes fast, especially if you're not used to fighting with the mesh. It sticks to everything. Add some bows, and my mesh is falling on the floor, but that's okay. That is what's called having a very cluttered craft room, which I think is pretty much normal. And I've lost count too because I've been talking. So after this guy, I'm gonna have to count them up. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I got 9 pieces. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I need to cut 6 more. Almost there, almost there. If you guys come in and you want to say hi, let me know where you're at or where you're from. Or if you have any questions of where we're at so far, I'm just cutting 12-inch long strips of mesh to place into a wreath, a tinsel wreath form, which we're going to use a ruffle, the pinch ruffle technique. Lost count again, and they're all falling on the floor again. Hi Magda, thanks for joining me again. Appreciate you guys coming. Let's see, I guess I am going to end up using all of that green one, which is actually perfect because I hate having leftovers, but it's not the end of the world. So let's see what I got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12. Oh God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so I just need 2 more. So I will still have a little bit left of this green one, but nothing nothing horrible. Let's see. Magda says, Woody and I watching. Well, hi. Hi to both of you. Hi, Woody. Hi, Magda. Oh, and Magda, I finished your pumpkins, so I just gotta send you some pictures and we will make sure we get it. You can pick the ones you like. I made more, obviously, than I needed to, but they're all waiting for you in the other room. So, all right. What I'm going to do now is start putting them in the wreath. So here's the black tinsel work wreath that I've already kind of fluffed multiple times because, you know, that's just the name of the game. It's all wire. It gets moved around a lot and it sheds. So what we do here is I'm going to put the sign in the wreath first. So this little Happy Halloween sign, we already stapled and glued. Now that the glue is dry, you guys can see that there were some pretty good, decent puddles. These are not coming off by any means. This isn't heavy. It's a hollow sign. It's not crazy heavy, but this right here isn't coming off. So what I'm going to do is place this back around the wreath where I wanted it. And just make sure I get pipe cleaners on each side. Okay, and then flip it over. So I've got pipe cleaner here. And then move the little tinsel pieces, you know, kind of out of the way so you're just really securing this really tight against the frame. And I'm just going to twist that a few times. And then this one here, I don't see the other one. There we go. So all I'm doing is making sure that I have the pipe cleaner secure, one on each side that matches, and then I'm moving the tinsel out of the way so I can get that sign as close as possible to my wreath frame. Let me peek under here. Sometimes it argues with you. Okay, so this guy is pretty close. And then tighten it really tight. Just give it a couple good twists. And then what I'll do later is I'll finish it up and clean it up, but I'll twist them pretty much almost all the way and then wrap them around the frame just to keep them secure. And then since it's black and it matches all the color back here, you don't really need to worry about covering it up. The mechanics aren't going to be showing, you know, the behind the scenes. And then lastly, there's this one here. Let's see how we're going to get this one on. I'm going to move this a little bit more. It looks like it's kind of tight because of how tight I put these two on. And And this is what we mean by trial and error, folks, because everything is perfect. So you don't know. You don't know. I've never tried it before. I've put signs in wreaths before, but not one this size. This is a pretty small wreath. So here's this. You don't want to put too much tension in it because eventually, you know, I don't want that pipe cleaner to break. But you got the tinsel. You can move this tinsel all around back here. Also, once it hits the door, or whatever door or wall, wherever you're going to place it, it's not going to scratch anything up. Everything back here is just like your average normal Christmas wreath or like an evergreen or a pine wreath that you would buy. It's not going to scratch anything. And I'm not going to be adding anything to it that will, because after this is pretty much all I'm doing with pipe cleaners. The rest of this is, I'm going to be using the wreath itself to hold all of the goodies onto it. So that's pretty much what we have so far. So I've got this secured to the wreath. It's not coming off. I'm not sure if you guys can see. There's a pipe cleaner here, here, and here. And what I'll do is eventually cut these off with wire cutters and then wrap them around the frame so that's more secure. But I mean, you can see I've twisted them maybe 20 times. I've twisted them a few times. So that's what we're working with now. So now we're going to add our ruffled mesh all around the outside of this, around the outside of this sign. We don't want to cover up the sign too much, but I want to kind of soften these edges anyways. There's some black and white stripes in the sign, and it's you know, it's all the same color. I kind of want to break that up and put some color and some really cute pops of color in it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of these pieces that we've already cut 12 inches long. And let me see if I can put this in a way that you guys can all still see. So here's the wreath. You're going to take your mesh, lay it flat, so you'll take it out, and then you'll start here at the bottom, and then just take your your pinchers here, and then what you do is you just grab in the middle. Can you see here? You just grab in the middle with all your fingers until you get to that other edge, and then as you're holding it here, remember, depending on how many you get, this is what's called the ruffle technique. So you get that outside edge that's really ruffled and cute. So you take that pinched piece that you have, and you're going to lay it between. In this tinsel wreath, you can place it anywhere you want. If you're working on a wire farm with pipe cleaners, again, words, you can place it between the two pipe cleaners that you're going for, because you're going to have probably 16 of them to go for. So this is what it looks like once you place one of them in there. How cute is that? So I'm going to alternate between this one and the green one. So let's just go and keep working it around. I still want the tinsel to show through, and since obviously this is a fairly large wreath, it's a thick wreath. It's not actually just a work form wreath. This is going to show, it'll show through just fine. It's not going to be, we're not in danger of covering up too much because it's just, it's not that type of project. So I'm going to add some to the side here, around the side of the wreath. So I'm just finding two of the tinsel ties, that's part of it. And then once you get it in there, you can move it all around and adjust it. Kind of put it a little bit underneath here. So far, and there's what the green one looks like. So I'm going to keep working, alternating these colors. We'll put another green one over here by the orange one. And it's really just about, you're just eyeballing and seeing where you want to place things. When I come back with the ribbon and the Deco tubing, I'm going to be adding it probably to these existing ties. I'm only twisting them twice. I'm not going to undo anything. I'm just going to add them to what's already there. And again, the more you pinch it, the more ruffles you have, and then especially since this is a stripe design, you can really see the ruffles popping through. It's really, really cute. Any of these little pieces that come off, as you see here, it's definitely still fraying. That's what mesh does when you cut it. Just pull them off and throw them away. You're going to have little pieces of this tinsel from the wreath itself kind of flying everywhere anyways, so just like with anything else, like glitter, those things, everything sheds. Don't be afraid to just pick it up and throw it away or pull it off. If it won't come off willingly, you can cut it off with scissors. I'm just working my way around. Now I'm going to put this green one on the inside over here. You really have a lot more freedom when you use these tinsel wreaths or a pine wreath. I mean, this same technique can go for Christmas as well. I mean, you just would use a pine wreath, and then I just bought this at Hobby Lobby. Tell me this isn't cute. Merry Christmas. So this would obviously have to go on a really large, probably like a 24-inch pine wreath. But it's the same technique. You would get your Christmas colors and your Christmas ribbons. You put the Merry Christmas right here in the middle, and then you're still using this ruffle technique, and you're placing it all around. Again, now I cut 15 pieces of each. I'm thinking right now I might not use it all. I'm not too sure. I do still want some of this tinsel to show through, which you can see it throughout here in these pieces. But we will have to see if I even need these, so I might be able to make another one. Remember I told you I bought these black tinsel wreaths from Michaels on clearance last year when they were getting rid of all of their Halloween decorations. They were clearancing them out. I got such a crazy good deal on it that I bought all of them. I think they had, oh my gosh, I want to say maybe 12 or 13 of them. I bought them all. And I only made this one wreath last year. And that's, like I said, I had this little guy in it, and he wasn't as popular as I thought he would be. I think he's cute, but a lot of people don't really like snakes. I mean, I don't like spiders and bugs, but Halloween spiders are okay because they're usually fuzzy and glittery and not alive. But everyone's, to each their own. Everyone's different. You don't like snakes? That's fine. But I still have all of those other frames, so I'm just going to repurpose this one, make this one into your cute little festive, happy Halloween. Can't really go too wrong with a classic Halloween colors. Also, a ghost would be really cute. I saw a ghost sign when I was there, but I didn't get it. This guy is just way too cute. As far as this little stuffed guy here, I love him. I showed him earlier, but I can't wait to make him into something. I may have to really try hard not to keep it. I have been told I have that issue. I make things and I fall in love with them, and then I want to keep all of them, and it's like kittens and puppies. You can't do it. You want to, but you can't. You end up running out of room or money. It's not affordable to make things and keep every single one of them, so yeah. But the best part about it is I can enjoy it for the season, and then when next year rolls around, there will be more things that come out, new stuff every year. I also have some really cute witches' legs. I have different sizes, different styles of witches' legs I've gotten at Michael's. I've also purchased some online through craftoutlet.com. Really cute stuff. With witches' legs, I thought about just like putting into I have a little Halloween jack-o'-lantern bucket, or a plastic cauldron. Those plastic cauldrons are really, really good now. Paper Mart, I think it's Paper Mart or craftoutlet.com has a YouTube video about making all the things that you can do with a cauldron. It's really, really cute. Putting those little witches' legs in it would be cute. Just pop some styrofoam in there. grab it in the middle and just keep pinching. You guys can take a peek at that. I'm just alternating back and forth and back and forth. This is what we have so far. You can see here that you can see the tinsel through here. I'm not sure if the camera will pick that up very well. When you're close enough and I'm looking at it here, I can see all this tinsel in the middle of it, and it's extremely cute. And it also is snagging, but I can still see the tinsel throughout this entire thing, and it's still looking very, very cute. So it's a good thing we put that sign on first for sure, because it appears that it probably would have been really, it looks like it would have been fairly difficult to get that sign on after, especially if it had mesh behind it. It's a little bit too thick or cumbersome. So good thing, put the sign on first. If it was a grapevine or if it was a wreath that you're doing that's just solid mesh, I wouldn't have put the sign on first. I'd put the sign on last, just because this is a tinsel wreath. It's just way easier to work with. Let's see what we have so far. Magda says, yay. Valerie, hi Val. Super cute. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you guys being here. So if you're just joining, I'm just making a really quick, small Halloween mesh wreath, reusing some old mesh that I'd had from previous projects that I just didn't use all of. So again, this is doing double duty because the project I used it on basically has already been completed, and this is almost like shopping at a discount store, just because that's already been pieced out for that project, and I didn't even use the entire roll. Still have this much left of the roll. I cut 15 pieces, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be using all 15 pieces. So I'm going to have some leftover rolls of mesh, even though they're falling on the floor everywhere. Possibly going to use them. I mean, obviously I will use them. Sorry, I will be using them. I don't throw anything away. I have mesh everywhere for this exact reason. Don't throw anything away. There's a use for all of it. So I'm just going to pick this guy up and work on the side here so I can get this one to push up this way. And then this is the back of it. So now this one faces down this way here. I'm just going to keep adding more. I only have a little bit left here, and I don't want to have it, you know, too full and thick because I still need to add some tubing and ribbon. So I'm just going to add a couple more of these black, well, yeah, I'm going to do maybe 1 or 2 more of the black and orange stripe, just because I think it's cuter than the solid green. The solid green was more of a accent. So there's that one. And then last one. So I only had a few. I can actually tell you how many I used in one moment. I know I'm not alone out there with wanting to have things organized and in a certain way, but sometimes you just can't in the crafting world. It's just impossible. And I struggle with that. So here's the end. I got all the mesh together. I got the sign on. I'm not sure if you can see in the camera, but once I'm finished, I will definitely take pictures with my photo lights, and you guys will be able to see against the white door exactly how all that black tinsel does show through in the middle of all this mesh. And it's really, really cute. So if you wanted to see, that's the back of it. So you got a few pieces poking through here. There's the sign from the back. So this is what we have so far. And then, of course, you can hang this any way you want. So if you want your sign to be a little crooked or if you want your sign to be straight, it's all going to depend on how you want it to look once you're finished with your project. So I have 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. I had 7 pieces left. So I believe I only used 8. That doesn't seem right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have 6 left of this one, so I only used a few of each of those. Originally cut 15. Did not use 15. So here are, where did my stray pieces go? These are pieces I had of a bow that I'd already made, and so I ripped the bow apart, and I thought that this ribbon would be really cute, little accent piece ribbon in here. I got the lime green and I got the orange. Now these pieces are too long, so I'm going to cut them a little bit shorter, and then I have my extra spools here. So I'm just going to set this guy off to the side here. Also, this Deco tubing, we want to cut tubing. There's an extra piece here. This is what I'm saying, like I have little extra pieces of everything somewhere laying around. Save it, keep it with its original, however you can possibly do it. I have a bucket full of ribbon remnants, say that 5 times, that I have come back to many, many, many times, and I've been able to repurpose them for projects. I just don't like to waste. I don't want to throw things away. So right now, this is 22 inches, and that's a little bit too big for this size wreath. This wreath isn't very deep, so you don't want to have these bows sticking out so much that they're constantly flat. They're just, it doesn't look right with the project. So I think what I was going to do is cut it at 16 inches. I believe that, yeah, that's what I was going to do. So I'm cutting these at, might help if you actually open the rotary tool, Whitney. Here we go. So I'm cutting these at 16 inches and then dovetailing them, and then I'll compare it over here to the, now obviously when I dovetailed it I cut a tiny little bit off, not the end of the world. But let's see how 16 inches looks inside the wreath here. I may have to throw that on the floor, it's going to make me angry. So let's just take this little guy here. All I did was take the 16 inches here, fold it in half, pinch that in the middle. We're going to put the tinsel around here, and then I'm going to fluff that out and fluff that out. So this is how it should look once we put it in the wreath, so let's take a look, see how it looks. Otherwise we can always adjust, and I can save this and use this for another project. So let's just take this and throw this one in between this twist tie here. Fluff that this way, fluff that this way. And that's what it basically looks like when you're done fluffing it. I think it's actually really good. I'm not going to be cutting a lot of them. They'll just be here and there because I'm also going to be putting this purple Deco tubing in there. So I think 16 inches is actually a really good size. And then you can also see the tinsel coming around the sides of it as well. So I think I'll do 3 of each, 3 orange and 3 green. And then we can do as many as this purple as we seem to think, you know, as we decide that, as we decide it looks necessary in the wreath, because there's no purple in there at all right now. And then also I want to add this guy into it because this one is just extremely cute, so I'm going to put some of those guys in there. And I had a piece, oh here it is. There's the other extra piece I had of this guy. So I'm going to cut him. 16. Tail it. Fold it in half. Pinch it in the middle. Let's add him down here. Okay, see? And there's the green guy down here at the bottom. So let's just keep cutting. Let's say maybe 2 more of each one. I'm trying not to start a ribbon avalanche over here, but on my craft table, that's probably not going to happen. So okay, so I'm cutting 16 inches. Cutting a tiny bit more, maybe 16 and a half, closer to 17, just because I have to dovetail these still. So that would have been with the extra piece that I repurposed. So you got 3 strips each of both the green and the orange. Always make sure to close your rotary cutter, otherwise you'll be reminded very quickly that it's open, and you probably don't want to be reminded that way, if you know what I mean. So I'm just going to dovetail all of these really quick. I found a lot of times, let me know what you guys have if you found anything else different, that when I double up the ribbons, you know, you go through scissors so much that they dull out real quickly. So I know there's another Facebook page I watch called Nick's Seasonal Decor. He's great. He does some very amazing stuff. He gets his scissors at the dollar store. They're actually kitchen. He uses the kitchen shears to cut all of his ribbons. But no matter what kind of scissors I've bought, and it also depends on the ribbon too, but no matter what scissors I buy, when if you take them and you double them up, and then fold them over to dovetail them. Let me see if hopefully this will work here. I don't think so, I'm a liar. As I say, I really don't get really good cuts. If you can see here, it's actually a really nice cut. Normally in my everyday, now again, I'm only cutting one ribbon at a time, and some of the larger wreaths that you do, if you're doing a really large Deco mesh wreath, you're looking at cutting 18 strips of ribbon times 3 different kinds of ribbon. You're getting a little tired, and your scissors are eventually going to give out. So it's one of those things where you're like, well, do I cut them one at a time? Do I cut them multiple? Let me know what you guys do, if anybody has any extra tips or tricks out there, because eventually when you start cutting that much ribbon at one time, it gets old quick. Bit more room here. So let's take this next orange one. Now again, now that we've already cut them and we've dovetailed them, you fold them in half, pinch them in the middle, find your twist tie, and just add a couple more twists to it. You don't have to undo. Don't undo what you've already done when you placed it in the mesh. Just add 2 more twists to it. And then pull your tails off to every side after you pull that loop out. So far, you guys, I'm pretty happy with this. I didn't know whether or not this was going to work very well, and so far so good, right? I mean, I got a frayed edge that's showing a little bit too much on that guy, so this twist tie here. Even, I mean, on these, I'm pretty sure these twist ties don't even match, but it's two tinsel pieces that are next to each other. I got one I probably grabbed off of an existing mesh piece that has been worked in there, and then one that probably was just part of the wreath that was just hanging out in between, but it all works. And since this is wired ribbon, forgot to tell you guys that, make sure it's wired ribbon. It doesn't matter if it gets smushed, you can always just fluff your bow or fluff the loop part. See, we're not really making a bow, we're just making a loop. After you pinch that in the middle, you're just making a loop and then pulling the tails off on each side. So it's just cute enough to where you're adding that tiny little subtle hint. It's not a big, huge bow or anything like that. It's just a little hint of a piece of ribbon, and it's just cute enough, and it's got tails, it's got a loop. You could also not even do the loop, you could just do streamers. You could just cut this shorter, pinch it in the middle, and place this into the wreath. So then all you have that's sticking out are these tails. Now this is too long for that. You would probably cut this maybe, I would say probably, you can always judge by your wreath here. So however the high it is, you want to go back maybe 1.5 inches higher than that and cut all of your pieces to that length. We're just going to add one little loop. And here's my last one for this guy here. I'll place him down here. So there's all the little loops. Just kind of evened them out around the actual, let me hold it right here like this, around the wreath itself here. So you've got inside, you can see the tinsel's still peeking out. I'm not covering up too much. There's green and orange and green and orange. I kind of tried to make it a little random, but also somewhat symmetrical. Now the Deco tubing, super easy. This piece I already tested earlier. Oh no, I did. I'm sorry. This was an extra piece that I had. Sometimes these are really good to put on presents when you're wrapping a present. You wrap up the box and then you can just tie this around the top of the box and you have a really cute little bow. So I think I took this off of probably some gift wrap for a family member that left it behind. I also do that too. I take bows. A lot of people just take the presents apart, especially at Christmas, and then throw bows away. I hate that. I can't do it. I feel like I need to rescue every bow out of the garbage can. I'm weird like that. Let me know if you guys are too. Please let me know I'm not alone. Now wrapping paper, no, that stuff's meant to be ripped apart. That's the pure joy of opening a present, I feel. So I try to put as much tape as possible on things, but this stuff, any kind of little extra piece that you put on a present, I save those. So this guy's probably the perfect length. I'm going to make 4 loops. So I'm just going to hold probably maybe, what is that? It's about 2 inches here and pinch it. Then I'll pull it and then bring it in to loop it on my finger and pinch it each time. I'm just holding it between my fingers. And look, look at that. It's perfect. So I got 4 loops, 2 on each side and then 2 little tails here. So I'm going to take this piece and put that through the other pieces of tinsel that are kind of intermixed in between where we put all the extra ribbon. So let me get a couple pieces going here so then I can show you just how this little bit, I mean there's no purple in here, and since we have such cute, vibrant, you know, bright lime green, I wanted to have some of that classic purple, black, orange. So for some reason, my stash, I don't seem to have any purple ribbon, and that's really strange for me. At least I don't have any Halloween, you know, style purple ribbon. So I had to remedy that with this Deco tubing. Now this flex tubing, you can buy so many different places. I purchased this one so long ago that I've just had it forever. But you can buy this at the dollar store, at Dollar Tree right now. I can actually show you because I bought more. Of course, it's all $1. So I got black, orange, and purple. Now it's a much smaller. You can see how big this bag was, and I've used a lot out of this bag. But see these bags? They're at the Dollar Tree. A little small. It says it's 36 feet. It's a really great deal. So if you don't want to go crazy and trying to spend $5, $6, $7, $10 on some Deco tubing, at least right now they've got some really good Halloween colors out at the Dollar. Yeah, it's Dollar Tree if you have that in your area. And right now, especially with the orange, you can use that for fall too. So I'm just placing this between twist ties that have already been used. And here, I'll show you. So far I only got 3 pieces in there, but you can see here, especially here, these little pieces stick out, look really cute. There's one there, there's one there. You'll probably be able to see them much better once I get the photo lights on it and it's on a door. I know sometimes with a really busy background and everything in here, it's kind of hard to see exactly where I'm going with it or how things are turning out. So I'm just going to put some more. I don't really do it. I think this is it. After this tubing, I don't believe I'm going to add anything else to it. I don't have any... I mean, if I was to do some floral picks, I'm not a big fan of putting greenery onto Halloween themed items unless you like spray paint them. Now I've spray painted some regular greenery. I've spray painted some things black before. And it's turned out just fine. So there's always that option. I had a stray piece of mesh on that guy. Just take it in the backyard with some black spray paint, and no matter what it was before, it will then be Halloween themed. So just gives a little peek. You just have a little bit of purple peeking out. And I'm probably just going to make that a little bit even throughout the whole wreath. So it's all just guesstimation. However big you make your loops, just pinch it in the middle and cut it. You really can't go wrong. It's not a measurement or an exact science. And then also, Deco tubing stretches really easy too. It's not very forgiving as far as getting a perfect measurement. It stretches really, really, really easily. There's also, this is Deco tubing, there's also Deco ribbon, Deco mesh ribbon, which I have gotten, and then there's this flex ribbon I've bought, and I made a Halloween Halloween wreath out of that too. That stuff, actually you make loops, and then you kind of just tie the loops onto a wire frame. No zip ties, no pipe cleaners. You just use the mesh tubing itself, and it's more. I'm sorry, the mesh ribbon itself and tulle. It was on that one, and it turned out really, really cute. I have that on a different door. I had it behind me from my last video. This one I just made. This is with the Curlicue Technique. That one's just a little fall wreath I made. That's gonna go as a thank you gift for a family member. Give them something cute. That's a small wire frame behind me. That's I believe a 12-inch frame behind me. So it's a very small wreath. So it's really cute for like a pantry door or a smaller door. So that one is going to go to a family member to let them have a cute little fall Thanksgiving wreath for their pantry or their kitchen, that type of thing. I'm almost done, guys. I have a little bit of tubing here, but again, tubing's not an exact measurement, so it's not as though you have to have a specific amount left over. I'm going to take a look. I'm going to step back and take a look at this to see if there's any other blank spots I want to add some to. And I got to refluff my bows. They're getting a little smushed when I'm putting in this other stuff. Alright guys, so let's turn it around, set it up here, take a look at it. Again, that's that extra little bit of fray. Every once in a while you'll find a piece that frayed. Got a good amount here. Piece here. I think I'm going to put some more tubing, just one more piece over here. Something just doesn't seem even to me right there, so I'm going to throw that guy in there real quick. Got some tubing. That looks cute. Peeking out from under that ruffle there. That ruffle there. Alright guys. That is about it. If you have some little berries, again, I don't like sticking greenery in with these kind of bright Halloween colors. I just kind of like to keep it lively. Again, unless you want to spray paint them black. I've done that many times. You could take ficus leaves on the stem or any kind of greenery bush, take it outside, spray paint it black, let it dry, and then pop a couple of those in if you wanted to have it more leafy. This one I just wanted to leave it fun, whimsical, really bright colors, happy Halloween, black, orange, green, purple, can't go wrong. The chevron zigzag design here, the tubing, the purple, it just, to me, it was just a really fun, happy wreath. I didn't want to put any florals in it or any leaves, so that's pretty much it. So we have the couple different mesh pieces, the mesh rolls, and even again, I don't think I can make another one of these guys, but I can definitely still do something sorted like that. But I could do maybe a smaller wreath with those, or just make some bows out of those. To place on other things, backs of chairs, cabinet doors, anything for the holidays. Coach lights on the outside of your house, I can definitely find a purpose for those. So that's pretty much about it for this. I do want to do a couple more lives. Now I bought these wreath kits that you guys may have seen before, but I've never used them before. Do you see how cute this is? So this is the top of him, and he's got a little tail here. And you can kind of see here in the picture what he looks like when you put him in the wreath. But I have no experience with these. I've seen other tutorials and people have made them. So I want to try it out first before I do the live, just so, you know, I'm not fumbling around and you guys are wasting time watching me mess things up. But I also got a Frankenstein too. Look at how cute his face is. I have two of these. So I'm going to experiment with one of them. And these are going to be on a pretty big wreath. These are going to be on 12-inch work wreath frames, which end up being a 24-inch wreath once you're finished. So I'll have a lot of room, and you can see here in the back, that's, let me get a good shot. That's pretty much the pieces you have, and that's kind of their idea of what it looks like when you put it on the wreath. I purchased these through trendytree.com. There's a couple of other places you can buy them too. I have 2 Frankensteins and 1 ghost. I also have a witch's hat with legs. And then I also bought a reindeer butt for Christmas. I couldn't pass it up. And it has antlers and a reindeer butt. I also have a couple scarecrows. Really cute scarecrows. I got those. The scarecrows I got from craftoutlet.com. And I'm going to put one of my scarecrows into a wall swag, or a door, a swag, but then we're going to use it for the door. Instead of above the door, it'll be basically on the door, and it's going to look really cute. I'm going to do that one coming up pretty soon too. I want to do a couple other Halloween things. I am still going to make a small primitive grapevine wreath with this guy here. I really, really like him. I might go back and buy another one. I can't help it. He's really cute. He wasn't on sale either. He's $6.99, but you know, what's $7 for happiness? Anyways, he'll be more Halloween primitive with more burlaps on a grapevine wreath. He'll be very cute. That I just have some ideas for. That I'll probably do for my next live. That way I have a couple more Halloween ideas planned. And then, of course, if you guys have anything or any ideas or any requests, let me know, and I will definitely do my best to make them happen. You can either private message the page. If you comment here after this live stream is over, it's going to be very difficult for me to actually find your comments. If you're watching YouTube, Again, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for coming and watching my channel. You can leave a message in the comment section below, and I'll be notified, and I can always get back to you that way. So, again, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate all of you guys here. Thank you for all of your support and your kind words. And if there's anything else you guys have, any ideas, I have an Etsy shop. Things will be posted there for sale. Or you can make custom orders. Just contact me and we can see what can happen. This guy right here is for sale. I'm going to take some pictures with my lights, my photo lights, and then I'll have everything set and ready to go, and then I'll be listed at my Etsy shop. So I'll keep you guys posted. And again, thank you for being here. And until next time, you guys all have a really great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.